Hello, this is CSC 588 demo recording for Milestone 2. I'm going to go through each demo. I'm going to start with one. Alright, got the output window here, plane spinning. I'm recording in stereo and I will begin now. Alright, that was instancing there at the end. I just want to point out that I can query for volume and pan on game side, but for the sake of timing, I had a hard time figuring out a command that would not just make the plane stop spinning while doing this kind of automation thing, and so I'm just printing it out on the audio side rather than the game side. Now I'm going to move on to demo 2. Alright, that was Seinfeld stitching. Gonna move on to demo 3. Alright, that was our priority table demo. Again, we got the priority table after everything's empty now. But yeah, these are our prints. Very good. Now I'm going to move on to 4, which is user callback. Sweet. All right, now finally async loading. was 60 seconds, so it got killed there. And now I'm gonna close the threads and memory tracking passed. Cool. All right. Move this back up. So this is demo 1 right here. I'm gonna come back to this. So this is demo 2. Doing it the same way that I've done it initially. For the most part, I create this wave buffer list, pass it to a stitch callback, load up the playlist, and then I have got these pan commands. I like that name, but I've got these pan commands that I'm passing to the time event manager that are panning it at appropriate times. I play the song, and then it stitches and it pans appropriately. So that's good. And then one thing I would like to point out, let me see where I'm at with time. All right, good. One thing I would like to point out was an interesting problem with this was, let me show you. So I added this. I don't know if it's great, but it makes sense because it makes sense to me because in the voice callback, if we don't add the right flag to the voice, like for instance, if we're just making a voice that's only going to play one file or one buffer, then we need to set the flag initially to end of stream so that it just ends as soon as that buffer is over. But for stitched, we have a different situation, which took me some time to figure out. I was confused as to why it wasn't playing, so I just added a get flag to the voice callbacks, which I think that makes sense for it to be the voice callbacks job to determine that, since it's dealing with these flags and stuff and the voices. So I've got a get flag. The default for that is just status end of stream flag. And then for stitched, I set it to 0. So anyways, maybe overkill, but that's what worked for me, and it seems pretty simple. It's just dependent on the situation. And that is demo 2. So I hope I didn't just alter something in there. I don't think I did. Okay, whatever. All right, demo 2, and that was demo 2. So demo 3, this is, oh yeah, so I make one playlist for Coma, and then I have all these play and stop commands, and then I also made a command just to dump the wavetable at appropriate times. But I've got play and stop sound commands which operate on the sound, which then the sound will go and send its command to a sound. So this is pretty simple. I just wrapped sound so that it could be passed to the time event manager. And yeah, so priority table, I'll just go and look at that for a second. I don't know. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, we've been there before. All right. So, you know, it sorts at the end of whenever it removes or adds something to the priority table so that it's always in sorted order, such, well, not, you know, sorted so that the lowest priority item will be popped or removed and replaced. And we're doing it so that if there's a priority, if something has the same priority, then it'll choose whoever has been playing less, which is obviously it's gonna just replace ones that have the same priority as it. And yeah. I did take some reference there for sure. That's demo 3. Go to demo 4. Is our what are we doing here? Sorry, forgive me for my not being very articulate right now. So user callback just prints out the sound whenever it's done. So we're passing the user callback to the sound, and then whenever I believe, no, that's not right. Oh yeah. Yeah, whenever it ends, and the voice callback calls a sound end, or sound end, then we just check if there's a user sound callback, because there's not always going to be one, because we have different ways of loading sounds and stuff. So it'll just send the user callback to the user thread. And I've got this user thread that I made. User thread. I also made an aux2 thread, which I will get into right now, actually, because we're going to demo 5. Let's see where we are with time. All right, good. So this is demo 5. I looked at the way that I have a way simpler way of doing the async callback. So right now I've got a base file callback command, and then we derive ifile callback from this, as well as async file callback. Async file callback holds async user callback command, which can be created more by the user. They can do what they want with it, and then passed from the game side. Let's see that actually. Passed from the game side. So this is where the user would pass their user callback, which is going to be added in the async load. So we create an async file callback, add that in, load, and then basically whenever the wave my bad. Files. Yeah, so then the ifile callback gets added to auxiliary and executed. So depending on whether it's a ifile or an async user, async file callback, then it's gonna execute the user's callback when executed, as opposed to just flipping the boolean like ifile callback does. So that's how that works. And then I made an aux2 thread because I ran into a weird issue that you brought up in class, actually, where I think aux thread was getting clogged because inside of my user callback, which is, we're coming up on time here, but yeah, inside the async user callback, that's getting executed on the aux thread, but then it tries to create a playlist, and the playlist blocking happens on the auxiliary thread as well, and so that was creating an issue. And so that's why I created aux2 thread. But that is everything, and it's coming up on 15 minutes, so I'm going to end the video, but thank you for watching, and that is my milestone 2.